He stood in front of the Grand Hotel doors, clutching his son's small hand like it was the only thing keeping him upright. The bright chandeliers inside glowed through the glass, reflecting the polished marble floors and perfectly dressed guests. But Daniel Hayes didn't belong there, not with his thrift store tux that was a size too tight, not with the shoes he'd polished with cooking oil, and certainly not with the feeling of being the only one who wasn't supposed to exist in that room. He was just a mechanic, a single dad who'd been invited by mistake to a charity gala for the city's elite. But that night, the mistake would change his life forever. Inside, laughter spilled like champagne. People shimmered in sequins and suits that probably cost more than his yearly rent. Daniel could already feel the stares prickling at his back as he tried to guide his son Liam to a corner table. "Daddy, is this where rich people live?" Liam whispered, tugging on his sleeve, eyes wide with awe. Daniel smiled faintly. "Just for tonight, buddy." He was here because the auto shop he worked for had donated a car service to the charity auction, and his name, by pure accident, had been included on the guest list. He didn't have the heart to correct the mistake when the invitation arrived. He thought maybe, just maybe, it would be good for Liam to see a little magic. But magic doesn't always feel kind. A group of men near the bar whispered loudly as Daniel passed by. "Who let the janitor in?" One of them snickered. A woman with diamond earrings glanced him up and down, and then looked away as if his presence was an offense. He tried to ignore them, tried to keep his head high, but humiliation burns no matter how used to it you are. Liam clutched his leg, sensing his father's discomfort. Daniel leaned down and said softly, "We'll stay just a bit, okay? Then we'll go get ice cream." Liam nodded with a smile, the kind of smile that could still light up Daniel's darkest days. The event host stepped onto the stage then, a woman in a golden gown that shimmered like sunlight. Everyone hushed when she spoke. Her name was Victoria Lane, billionaire, philanthropist, and the face of a dozen charities. Her voice carried warmth and power as she announced the start of the charity auction. "Tonight," she said, "we're not just bidding for luxury. We're bidding for hearts, our cities, our peoples, our future." Item after item was auctioned off. Private yachts, art pieces, vacation homes. Daniel clapped politely, though each bid felt like a world away from his reality. But then the host smiled and said, "Next, we have something a little different." On the screen appeared a photo of a small auto shop garage, the one Daniel worked in. A full year of car maintenance and repairs, courtesy of Hayes Auto Works. He froze. That was his shop, his name. The crowd murmured, and Daniel wished he could disappear. The auctioneer started the bidding, but the crowd barely cared. A few half-hearted offers came in, mostly jokes about who would ever use place like that. Laughter followed. Daniel lowered his head. He felt Liam squeeze his hand again. "It's okay, Daddy," Liam whispered. "We don't need them to like us." Victoria Lane noticed the exchange from the stage. Her gaze softened. "I'll bid 5,000, she said suddenly. The room fell silent. All heads turned to her. 5,000 for Mr. Hayes's service," she added, eyes locking on his. "Because good hands deserve good value." Daniel blinked in disbelief. The auctioneer stuttered, then finalized the sale. A small ripple of applause filled the air, uneasy, reluctant, but real. For the first time that night, Daniel lifted his head. Their eyes met again across the crowd. Hers were warm, curious, maybe even kind. After the event, she approached him. "You look like you'd rather be anywhere else," she said, smiling. Her voice was lighter now, genuine. Daniel chuckled awkwardly. "You noticed." He hesitated before adding, "Thank you for what you did up there." She shrugged. "It was nothing." Then after a pause, or maybe it was something, she knelt to greet Liam, who shyly hid behind his father's leg. "You must be the brave one who keeps your dad smiling," she said softly. That night ended with a conversation Daniel couldn't quite explain. She wasn't like the others. There was no judgment, no pity, just a spark of something unexpected. She asked about his life, his son, his struggles after his wife passed away 2 years ago. Daniel found himself opening up more than he intended. Before leaving, Victoria handed him a card. "Come by my foundation tomorrow," she said. "I might have an idea for you." He didn't sleep that night. Hope can be a dangerous thing for a man who's lost too much of it. The next day, Daniel arrived at the Lane Foundation headquarters. Marble floors again. But this time he didn't feel quite as small. Victoria greeted him personally. "I've been thinking," she began. We're starting a program that helps single parents learn financial independence. I could use someone who understands hard work, someone like you, to lead a workshop on auto repair skills." Daniel's breath caught. "You want me to teach?"
"Yes,"
she said simply. "I want people to learn from someone real." Over the following weeks, Daniel found himself stepping into a new world. He began teaching classes for single parents, fixing cars and fixing lives at the same time. He watched people's confidence grow, and with it, his own. Victoria often stopped by to check on the program, and each time she did, their friendship deepened. There was laughter now. Gentle, honest laughter that filled spaces Daniel had thought were broken forever. Still, the whispers continued. The tabloids loved a story. Mechanic was billionaire. From grease to gold. The gossip stung, but this time Daniel didn't hide. He'd learned something powerful. Kindness was strength, and love wasn't about matching bank accounts. One evening, at another gala months later, Victoria surprised everyone. The same glittering hall, the same chandeliers, but this time Daniel stood by her side, not in the corner. She took the microphone, smiling at the crowd. "Last year," she began, "someone reminded me what charity really means. It isn't about the size of your wallet. It's about the size of your heart." She turned toward Daniel, eyes glistening. "And sometimes it's about finding someone whose heart beats in rhythm with yours." The crowd fell silent again, different this time. Respectful. Moved. Daniel reached for her hand, unsure if he was dreaming. "You sure about this?" he whispered. Victoria smiled softly, completely. In that moment, the laughter, the judgment, the years of struggle, all of it faded away. What remained was simple and pure, two people who had found light in each other's broken places. And as the applause swelled and Liam ran to hug them both, Daniel realized something he hadn't in years. He belonged. Not because of money or luck or anyone's approval, but because finally someone had seen the worth he'd always carried quietly inside. That night, under a chandelier that glittered like 1,000 second chances, the single dad who'd once been mocked at a gala found something rarer than gold. He'd been bid on not for charity, but for love.